The imperial edict banishing Ling Feng to the frontier was not merely a punishment for cricket fighting. On the day of the wedding between the fifth princess and Ling Feng, the emperor hosted a private banquet in Consort Li's palace. Amidst the clinking of goblets, he overheard a conversation he was never meant to hear.
Lady Xue Mei looks barely 20. How could she have a son of marriageable age?
She cakes on so much makeup. If she weren't a demon, how could she never age?
I saw her 20 years ago, and she looked exactly the same. We've all grown old, but she hasn't changed a bit.
Surprise!
Unless she's a 1,000-year-old demon in human form, how else could a mortal remain ageless?
The speakers meant no harm, but the listener took it to heart. That night, the emperor lay awake, his mind churning. The next day, he summoned the abbot of Taishu Monastery, Daoist Liao Liao.
Your Majesty, all mortals share the sorrow of time. Where there is youth, there must come aging. This is the way of heaven, and even cultivation masters cannot escape it. According to Your Majesty's account, this woman has shown no sign of aging in decades. She cannot be human.
The emperor trembled, glaring at the Taoist.
Such a demonic creature is a scourge to the nation. She must not remain by your side.
Troubled and suspicious, the emperor did not know how to deal with Xue Mei. Then he heard that on the second day after the wedding, Ling Feng had abandoned his bride to go cricket fighting with a pack of aristocratic youths, spending the night carousing at Tianxiang Tower. Worse still, on the third day, the day of the traditional bride's return, Ling Feng failed to accompany the fifth princess back to the palace. The emperor was furious. Thus, the edict was issued. To save face for the fifth princess, the emperor refrained from severe punishment, opting merely to exile Ling Feng as a lesson. Xue Mei soon received the news and silently blamed herself.
If I hadn't craved power and status, if I hadn't insisted on becoming royalty, the emperor wouldn't have interfered. My Fenger wouldn't be in danger. He is my life. The frontier is a battlefield. Sending him there is a death sentence. He acts out, yes, but does he deserve such a harsh punishment? Your Majesty, if our families hadn't allied, we would have been fine. Now that the princess has married in, you target my son. Are you trying to take my only child from me? What do I do?
She wanted to beg the emperor, but the edict demanded Ling Feng leave immediately. There was no time to reverse it. In truth, the emperor wasn't punishing Ling Feng. He had developed a murderous intent toward Xue Mei. But Xue Mei didn't go to beg. Instead, she packed her bags and followed her son to the frontier. When Ling Feng saw Xue Mei, she was in the backyard, directing servants to move chests. She wasn't seeing him off, she was going with him.
Mother? You're going to the frontier too?
Mother and son go together. If we return together. If we don't make it back, we'll survive there.
Ling Feng looked at his mother, his eyes stinging with tears. He knew that in this life, she feared nothing except losing him. After the convoy departed, Xue Mei didn't travel with Ling Feng openly. She followed with her own caravan, keeping a distance of 10 or 20 miles. She stayed hidden by day and only approached the courier stations at night. At first, the military escorts mocked Ling Feng, bringing his mom along for a supply run. But as days passed, they couldn't ignore the benefits: hot meals, fine tea, medicine, and fresh clothes, all quietly provided by her. The men stopped laughing. They could only sigh.
He's lucky to have such a mother.
Xue Mei wrapped her face tightly, dressed in rough linen, blending in with the maids. But a beauty is a beauty. Occasionally revealing her true face was like a pearl hidden in the grass, impossible to look away from. News of Xue Mei traveling incognito to the frontier spread quickly. One evening, the convoy entered a mountain pass. Xue Mei sat in her carriage, her maid sandal dozing beside her. Suddenly, a bamboo whistle pierced the silence.
Fire arrows!
A rain of arrows flew from the woods on both sides. The lead horse was struck and fell, the carriage lurched violently. Sandal's head hit the wooden frame, and she fainted instantly.
Protect the mistress!
Xue Mei leaped from the carriage, rushing behind a boulder. The servants formed a protective circle, the clash of steel and war cries blending into chaos. Sean and his 3 sworn brothers swung their weapons against the attackers. The bandits, dozens of well-trained men, weren't interested in loot or a prolonged fight. They had one target.
The beauty is there! Don't let her escape!
Xue Mei gritted her teeth. They weren't after money. They were after her. In the confusion, a burly man charged, hoisted the unconscious Sandal onto his shoulder, and ran.
You grabbed the wrong one! That's not Xue Mei!
But it was too late. The bamboo whistle sounded again, and the bandits vanished into the dense forest. Sandal had been kidnapped. Sean's face turned grim.
They mistook Sandal for you, ma'am.
Xue Mei remained silent. She stared into the dark woods with a single thought, who wants me dead? At the courier station that night, Ling Feng arrived. Not wanting to worry him, Xue Mei claimed they had lightened the load to travel faster. But Ling Feng wasn't a fool. He noticed his mother's pale face, the missing servants, and Sean's wounds.
Mother, what happened?
Nothing. The wind was too strong, and the carriage tipped.
Ling Feng didn't press further. But under the cover of night, he slipped out of the station. The next day, Ling Feng didn't depart with the army. He took leave from the governor, claiming he had personal matters. The governor looked at him but didn't stop him. Ling Feng sneaked back near the station, hiding in a roadside ditch. Mosquitoes bit him, leeches crawled up his legs, but he didn't move. He was waiting. Sure enough, at noon, a man in black emerged from the station, changed into a laborer's clothes, and sneaked toward the woods. Ling Feng recognized him, Li Runzhong, the station master. A spy. Ling Feng's heart sank. He followed quietly and overheard the conversation.
That woman is in the station. We strike tonight.
Ling Feng didn't confront them. He crawled back, found a stone, wrapped it in a white silk handkerchief his mother had given him, and wrote a few words, 21 assassins in the woods outside. Li Runzhong is the mole. Be careful. He threw it through the window into Xue Mei's room. Xue Mei unfolded the handkerchief and instantly recognized her son's handwriting. She made no sound, simply telling Sean, go. Before dark, Pavilion Master Huang of the Nanxiang Pavilion arrived with reinforcements. The groups merged and evacuated the station under the cover of night. Li Runzhong was bound and thrown into a carriage. Ling Feng watched from the shadows as the convoy's lights faded into the distance. He didn't follow, he needed to protect her from the dark. His mother was right, it was time for him to grow up. The convoy traveled fast, reaching Pingchuan town 3 days later. Li Runzhong was locked in the Nanxiang Pavilion. Before he could be interrogated, his throat was slit cleanly. Pavilion Master Huang turned pale. Xue Mei merely sighed.
Investigate. Whoever is behind this, find them.
She turned to the window. There were tears in her eyes, but none fell. The emperor soon learned of everything. He knew about the ambush, the kidnapped maid, and the assassination attempt. He stared at the secret report for a long time, then picked up his vermilion brush and wrote 4 characters, ensure her safety. He put down the brush and walked to the window. The moon was full. He thought of Xue Mei's face.
I miss you.
But no one heard. Fang Menglong arrived with 100 imperial guards, finally meeting Xue Mei in Pingchuan.
By the Emperor's decree, I am to escort Mistress Xue back to the capital.
Xue Mei did not refuse. She knew that only if she was safe could Ling Feng go to the frontier with peace of mind. Before leaving, Ling Feng rushed back to see her off.
Mother, The Emperor's arrangement is best. You are safe now. I should return to the unit.
The family business must continue. I've asked the 4 brothers Shan to escort you to catch up with your unit. Once you join them, they will leave. You must take care of yourself. We will meet in the capital. I'll be waiting.
She handed him a large bundle.
The jade amulet is inside. Mother will wait for you in the capital. Come back safe.
On the day the convoy returned to the capital, the emperor waited in the suburbs. Seeing the shadow of the convoy, he stepped down from his carriage and stood by the road. Xue Mei alighted and knelt. The emperor stepped forward, helping her up without a word. Uniquely, perceptive as always, guided Xue Mei to the emperor's carriage. The emperor held out his hand. Xue Mei looked at him and placed her hand in his. Uniquely lowered the dragon curtain and announced,
Depart for the capital.
The carriage rolled forward. Inside, the emperor held Xue Mei's hand, gazing at her face.
You've grown thin.
Xue Mei smiled, tears glistening in her eyes.
Your Majesty has grown thin as well.
They said nothing more. The wind outside fluttered the curtains. Xue Mei leaned against the window, gazing at the distant mountains. She was thinking of Ling Feng. That rascal of a son was now walking alone on the road to the frontier. She believed in him, just as he believed in her.